Welcome to the Captain's Log with me, Captain Christina Zamora from blogtrack.net. The Captain's Log is a podcast where I document my day and style it like a Star Trek episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, check out blogtrack.net where I have pictures, stories, and more. I hope you like this subspace transmission. Captain's Log, Stardate 08212021.4. We arrived at Natoma 2 to gauge the planet's water levels. The planet has been experiencing drought-like conditions, and our crew wanted to document how severe the situation was. Upon our arrival, it was quite evident that water levels are at a record low, considering the location we beamed down to would normally be several feet underwater instead of being covered with grass. During my time on the surface, when I wasn't surveying the water table, I was deep in thought. I've been trying to reconcile my scientific inclination with my budding spirituality. For the most part, the two perspectives seem diametrically opposed to each other. Yet, I cannot ignore the overwhelming anecdotal evidence I've experienced. The other problem I'm having is the fact that what I'm experiencing doesn't conform neatly with the usual finding God narrative that is commonplace. I haven't found it to be a uniquely positive experience that many talk about, but instead, a flood of information that has been both positive and negative. Perhaps I'm not conceptualizing it correctly. Usually there's good and bad entities that are talked about in most major religions. At least till this point, I haven't found anything that exactly matches my own observations and experiences. Whatever this is seems to have a dynamic personality that is both playful and a bit spiteful, loving and mean, providing me with some rather startling insights and misdirection. As a Starfleet captain, one that has a disposition towards a scientific perspective, I have questioned other captains regarding their experience with the unknown. Aside from outright skeptics, many talk about one or two experiences they've had that are not easily explained by current scientific understanding. Many times, there are second-hand stories of miracles or other phenomenon. I guess the part that startles me the most is the fact that I've been having many different small and big experiences happen almost on a daily basis. Perhaps the difference is that before I wasn't really looking or listening. I was caught up doing my own thing, flying around like a bee gathering my pollen. Nowadays, I feel like my ship has been hijacked, like the picture I took of the dragonfly on top of the bee. I know now that I am being steered, sometimes to a plentiful supply of pollen, and other times, like my body is being dunked in water and I'm being deprived of air while the dragonfly enjoys a sip of water on top of me. Still, knowing what I know now, I don't know if I would go back to being arrogantly ignorant about what is out here and its abilities. During the interim time between entries, I've stopped going to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I didn't care for its divisive message and the fact that I probably wouldn't be able to integrate into that community anyways. As I finish this entry, I find myself at an unfamiliar outpost, just looking to connect and explore their perspectives. And this concludes this episode of Blog Trek. Thank you for joining me.